Welcome, Pinterest. Traffic Domination. Creating optimized boards and the power of communities. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? Many of you might be wondering why we are going over creating boards before we go over creating pins and optimizing them. This goes back to our strategies and goals. Depending on the platform, you almost always will have faster successes when going into it with experienced assistance or taking the time to learn it yourself. Almost anybody can get an Amazon account and throw up a few listings, but it takes a minimum of knowledge, experience, and effort to get those listings to sell and be profitable. The value of Pinterest. Pinterest has value to you because it is a great platform to engage your potential audience. Leverage Pinterest's own systems to maximize exposure and generate the most traffic possible for your content or products. We do that by first exploring categories and topics, understanding how that functions. Then we will drill down to get additional details on our topics and keywords using Smart Search. Once we have those general parameters decided, we move to create our boards. We have them defined already for the most part. Then we move toward the actual pins. You will know exactly what you want to do with the pins when you get there. Pinterest has the highest traffic referral rate of any social media after Facebook. Make use of this by providing your followers with strong CTAs, calls to action, to guide them where you want them to go next. Whether you are promoting a blog with content or e-commerce product listings only, you want to have several boards per subject matter or product. Target Pinterest topics to increase engagement. How can you optimize your pins further to increase your chances of making it to the category cover? Remember, I mentioned pin signals. This is a great example of pin signals. I would take my initial mountain bike pin and use the keywords health and fitness in the rich pin title, in the pin description, and pin it to the health and fitness board of mine. Let it season on that board for a few days, then come back and add it to all of the other boards that I would be adding it to as well, one at a time. We're utilizing Pinterest to drive traffic, build exposure for our brand or products, and increase engagement with new audiences. The more targeted you get your signals, the better the chances of huge amounts of traffic. Add descriptions to your boards using keywords. For each board, you'll want to add a keyword-optimized description. Tell followers what you share and how they'll benefit from the content on your board. Keep in mind that Pinterest is a resource and people tend to spend time scouring the site for all the posts they can find on a specific topic. The more helpful and valuable your boards are, the more likely they'll follow and repin your content. Don't underestimate pin descriptions. These are often overlooked, but pinners interact much more with pins that have descriptions as well as images. The sweet spot for description length is 200 words. What is a Pinterest group board? A thing of the past. Pinterest announced last year that group boards would no longer be appearing in the search results, making them pointless. They have been replaced, so it seems, by Pinterest communities. The smart feed phenomenon. When you first log in, what you see is the smart feed. Pins from topics that you told Pinterest that you were interested in. You did not see the most recent pins from people you follow. That's not how the smart feed works. Pinterest's smart feed uses an algorithm to determine each user's feed, with pins being shown as best first rather than newest first. Optimize for engagement. When creating boards and pins, ask yourself, would this make me click and want more information? If the answer is no, or maybe, then continue working on it until it does. How do you best achieve this? You can start with a compelling call to action in the title. Remember, the easiest way to connect with a product or a buyer is to show them what using the product is like or might do for them. Lifestyle images help a lot. You're not selling the features of the product, you're selling the end result of what getting the product accomplishes. 5 boards per pin. Most Pinterest experts argue that a pin should live on at least 5 relevant boards in your Pinterest profile. For example, If you blog about SEO, you should ensure that Pinterest profile has at least 5 boards related to SEO, such as SEO, SEO tips, SEO for beginners, SEO WordPress, and SEO for bloggers. So you'd add pin number 1 to board 1. 5 days later, you add it to board 2. 5 days later, board 3. Repeat the process monthly to avoid being spam. So you also want to have multiple pins per content. We often see people repost a blog over and over and over, a new blog post on social media. Well, they're doing it wrong. What they should be doing is reposting different points made in the content at different times. So they might have 5 posts for the same piece of content, but it might actually point to 5 different things about that content instead of the same post over and over and over 5 times. You want to look at your pins the same way. So if you have a piece of content or a product images, right there's 5 of them. Make sure they're branded and there's some words on it, and you have it right there. So back to the 5 boards per pin. So on day 1, you do board 1. On day 5, you do board 2. On day 10, you do board 3. Then on day 3, you take pin 2 and you pin it to board number 1. And on day number 7, you take pin number 2 and pin it to board number 2. So you're constantly scheduling things to be happening with a specific piece of content. So you're looking at 25 pins on different boards of just your own stuff for one product. That gives it the best chance of exposure. That's what the name of the game is. Exposure, traffic, clicks, eyes on product. Be sure to spice up your Pinterest profile by adding featured boards function, which showcases your most relevant boards. To do that, when you're in your feed looking at your boards, you want to drag the featured ones up to the top. Here's a tip. Maximize your conversions by pinning relevant infographics often because they get repinned more, which improves the reputation of your account and your boards. Infographics and tip lists, they get pinned and saved a lot. Monitor your boards for quality. Each month or so, do a quick review of your boards to ensure the board is full of high quality, highly pinned content. We used to use a tool called Pin Forever. It was a Firefox browser extension to remove those low performing pins and boost the overall value of the board, or so we thought. In 2018, Pinterest announced to not remove poor performing pins as they cause no harm to a board, so that changed. We used to delete poor performing pins. Well, Pinterest has a point. What's to say it won't kick in 6 months? You want your boards to be successful. You still should review your boards regularly and add high value pins to the underperformers to boost their value. As far as underperforming pins themselves, Pinterest suggests that it is much better to go back to the original source itself, pin directly from there. This time, try a different title and a slightly different description. Pin Forever does not look very fancy and can be a little glitchy, but the range of available options are much better than those offered by Pinterest itself. Group boards still exist. They have lost almost all of their effectiveness. When you use a tool like Pin Groupie, it is difficult to find group boards with a lot of participation anymore. That's why I really don't even bring up Pin Groupie because it's worthless anymore. Pinterest Communities. The social platform that says it is a search engine is finally going social. Pinterest Communities' vision is to enable more pinners to connect with each other around a shared interest. They are focused on organic interactions and non-self-promotional posts. With that said, communities will serve as a way to connect to others by sharing content they are looking for. But you cannot share your own. Communities are if Google and Facebook groups had a baby. You get the SEO capability and the socializing of a real social platform. Communities are a great way to connect with others on Pinterest. Go beyond following those you follow or who follow you in a more personal way than just pinning their stuff or trying to direct message them. The best advantage of Pinterest communities is you have another way to market your business or blog on Pinterest. Joining and creating communities. At the moment, the only way to activate the community tab on your Pinterest account is through joining a community first, and it can be only joined via mobile. This is also the only way to create your own community. You can activate the community tab for yourself by joining a community that I just made for this purpose. Mastering Online Selling is a community I just made for this workshop. Join the conversation here and learn how to dominate your niche and build a sustainable future. Creating your own popular community. If you're ready to take charge, build a community of your own, now is the time to jump in. Be on the ground floor of change. We've seen time and time again those there in the beginning of innovation come out on top. Isn't that true in this business? Choose a topic. The best way to pick something that lots of people will be interested in and excited to join is to create a community related to your most popular board, possibly a little broader in scope. If your most popular board was kayaking, I suggest a community such as kayaking in canoes or weekend kayaking, something that would appeal to a slightly larger audience. Have you heard the phrase, the riches are in the niches? Use your community name as a hashtag and search to see if it has traction as a hashtag. You may also check it on Instagram. Write a description, what to share, how to join. Create a description. Use keywords. Tell users what they'll learn and the types of content that are appropriate to share. Come up with some rules like what to contribute. Please stay on topic, a limit of self-promotion, and don't forget to create a welcome message and pin it to the top. Invite like-minded collaborators who can add to the conversation. Once your community is ready to go, invite a collaborator or two that you know would add valuable content to the board. Going through your blog feed or your Twitter following can help turn up some influential partners as well. Take a moment to click on their pins to make sure the content they share is being pinned and relevant. Running a Facebook group alone is a lot of work. I'm sure a Pinterest community is as well. This will take some of the weight off of your shoulders. Be the best conversation facilitator in your community. Lead by example. Facilitate the conversation. The task for this lesson requires some planning. Make a list of your major content or product areas. Match them to the appropriate top-level category on Pinterest based on relevancy and where it fits the best. Using the skills that you learned, craft SEO titles and descriptions to go along with the title. Next, make a list under each main board of various subboards that you might make, focusing on various long-tail keyword phrases. See you in the next lesson.